Go ahead and probably get started. Thank you all for joining us tonight for this webinar. One of the many webinars that your Zone 34 Public Image Coordinator team puts together. I think I've seen many of you in past webinars, so thanks for joining us again as we talk about this important subject, which is World Polio Day and what you can do to put together a fantastic event or just bring awareness to the day on October the 24th. Tonight's session is being presented by William Ennis. William is our pick out of the Cayman Islands and has put a lot of work into this presentation, really great information, and I think a lot of actionable things put together in these slides that can, even if you already have your event put together for World Polio Day, he has put together a lot of really good tactical things that you can do to make sure that the word gets out and we let folks know why polio is still very important and what people can do to support the work that Rotary is doing to eradicate this disease. With that, one other thing, there is a chat function. I forgot to mention that. If you have any questions, please either raise your hand or you can put a question down in the chat. We'll go ahead and mute everyone just so any background noise doesn't interrupt William. But you can always unmute yourself if you have a question, or you can put a question in the chat box, and we'll make sure that we catch all those questions before the end of the session. So with that, I'm going to mute everyone, and then I'm going to make sure that I unmute William, because he's the man that's going to present to us how to focus on ending polio. William.
Thank you very much, Marshall. And with that, we're going to move on to our presentation.
This is a story of historic progress, a story that doesn't exist without you. Our unifying effort in 3 decades of action demonstrates our commitment and endurance. And our progress thus far shows that a polio-free world is achievable. Individuals, clubs, partners, and governments share a collective vision to improve the health of every single child. We've eliminated polio in some of the most difficult places, overcoming obstacles and navigating complex issues. Our successes prove that polio will be eradicated, and while ending a global disease is not easy, as Rotary, we don't give up. We'll continue our fight until each child is protected. This isn't possible without you. So stay involved, keep pushing forward, engage your clubs and communities, start a social media conversation, and increase visibility on the importance of this global effort. Hold events and fundraisers on World Polio Day and throughout the year. Advocate to governments about the importance of supporting polio eradication. Make a contribution and invest in one of the largest health initiatives ever. Be a character in our story. Be the solution to our challenge. It's because of each and every one of you that we will improve our future by making polio a disease of the past. Eradication is possible, so let's keep our promise.
Good evening, everyone. I'm William Ennis of the Rotary Club of Central Cayman Islands, part of your Zone 34 team, and I'm Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator. I want to welcome you to our seminar on how to celebrate World Polio Day. On World Polio Day, thousands of Rotary clubs around the world will hold events and fundraisers to recognize our progress in the global fight to end polio. Planning your event with a public image focus is important as we coordinate our message to maximize our impact. First, a few housekeeping items. At the bottom of your screen is a chat icon. If we ask for your input, or if you would like to ask any questions, please feel free to type in your information. At this time, please let us know where you're located. We have participants from District 7020 I've seen earlier, and I think one of the islands as well in 6890. And on our screen, you can see our public image coordinator team for Zone 34. So World Polio Day is October 24th. And of course, Polio Plus, we've been fighting this fight for 30 years. Rotary and our partners have driven the effort to eradicate polio worldwide. Our Polio Plus program was the first initiative to tackle global polio eradication by vaccinating children on a massive scale. As a core partner in the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, Rotary focuses on advocacy, fundraising, volunteer recruitment, and awareness building. Rotary members have contributed 1.9 billion and countless volunteer hours to protect more than 2.5 billion children in 122 countries from this paralyzing disease. Rotary's advocacy efforts have played a role in decisions by governments to contribute more than $8 billion to the effort. Of course, we have our challenges. Rotary and our partners have made tremendous progress against polio, but eliminating all cases is going to take even more progress and perseverance. Afghanistan and Pakistan face unique challenges, including political insecurity, highly mobile populations, difficult terrain, and in some instances, logistical barriers. With sufficient resources, the commitment of national governments and innovations that improve access to remote areas, we're optimistic that we can eliminate polio. We're here today to communicate the tools available to you to help you create World Polio Day and celebrate World Polio Day on October 24th. So where to start? We would strongly recommend you start a World Polio Day committee and work closely with Club Service Director and District and Polio Now chairs for any support needed. Important things to consider is if the event will be ticketed or free, fundraising or educational. Select or volunteer to be the committee chair for this committee and pull together Rotarians within your club that have the connections and or expertise to support your plans. In the weeks leading up to the event, be sure to post on social media from your club and personal accounts to spread the word. Consider boosting on Facebook if the event is a fundraiser, as this may help you to improve your fundraising capacity. Be sure to update your website and notify any newspapers to update their community calendars. Ensure you have a person with a very good camera or a smartphone to capture good videos and photos of the event, to share them live on the day, as well as to use them to promote your club and its fundraisers in the future. If you're not sure how to use your smartphone, there are options for you on our webinars for you to review them and learn more about this topic at myrotarystory.org. I think the name of it is called Smartphone Photography That Doesn't Suck. That's a great one to check out. And of course, what we'll be talking about today predominantly is the Rotary resources that are available to you online. They have fantastic resources like that video we saw earlier that are linked from their endpolio.org website, which is the link you see here on this slide. We strongly encourage you to visit this site and review it carefully. There's an up-to-date information on the current status of our fight to end polio, as well as the ability not only to search for events in your area, but to register your own event and link it to your website or your Facebook page. And we're going to show you how to do this shortly. But first, let's start with finding an event. How many of you know if there are events planned in your area? On the same website, if you go to endpolio.org/World Polio Day, you can see if there's an event in your area, as you can see in the picture on the right-hand side. I've just taken a picture of our district and zone areas. If you click on one of those sites, for example, the Cayman Islands where I'm in, you'll see the details of that event. So End Polio Games is a bingo night fundraiser held on World Polio Day. Attendance is free and all proceeds will be raised from the raffle and bingo card sales that will be donated to End Polio Now Fund. And you can see the website or the links to the persons who are involved in that event. For us, it's my Rotary Club and also our Rotaract Club. We've partnered to do it. Talking of partnerships, if you click in your area on that website and you notice a Rotary Club nearby, you could partner with that Rotary Club to help them with their event and maximize their impact. So it is less than a month now from World Polio Day. So if you're unable to do your own event, that's a great thing you can do, is partner with those clubs to improve their impact. And of course, if there is no event in your area, register your own. And I'll show you how to do that as well. The link endpolio.org, register your event, allows you to put your name and contact information, as well as your district and club information, to register the event that you're having in your area. So in addition to the latest information that you have available to you for what clubs are doing what in your area for this event, there is a toolkit that you should download that provides you with useful materials. That toolkit is a resource, endpol.io/WPD. We're going to share this hopefully. Marshall, if I could ask you to share that in the chat with everybody, just that link that you see there, because I'd like you to click on it and to download that toolkit. That toolkit is so important because it has useful materials. It's a zip file that has things like how to celebrate the event. It has an invitation template and letter header with the branding of Rotary's World Polio Day. It also includes Rotary and polio information leaflets, a sample press release that you can modify and share with your local club with your local news outlets with your club information. Even suggested text to use on social media to help coordinate the hashtags. Lastly, it also includes a World Polio Day proclamation, which is very interesting. It's a document that you can modify and submit to your local governing body in your town or city or island or country, where the government can formally resolve to support Rotary's effort to eradicate polio. Those are one of the things that I found interesting, and I shared with my area governor, who has connections with the Cayman Islands government, and hopefully we'll see a proclamation coming from them soon. Again, we strongly encourage you to download this tool. And I'm not sure because I can't see the chat, but I hope we've been able to link that in the chat. Yes, I do see we have done it. Great, thank you.
Yeah, we got it out there. Sure thing.
Fantastic. So on to some event ideas. On the End Polio Now website, we do see some of these options that have happened in other places around the world. For example, host a viewing party. The Rotary Club of Haut Reef, Mauritius, hosted a screening of a documentary about polio in Pakistan. The Rotary clubs in Lucerne, Switzerland raised $300,000 by hosting a concert with an internationally renowned conductor and orchestra. There is also hosting a polio walk or ride, which the Rotary clubs in Kenya and France hosted walks and cycling events to raise funds and awareness for polio eradication efforts. Some examples of what we do here in the Cayman Islands. In the past, we've done a corporate bread race fundraiser to raise awareness. So we block off a section of the high street in Georgetown, and corporate teams will actually rush with a person on a bed from one end of the street to the other. It's about 100 yards. And the winners then, I think, receive a trophy. But that's about all. All the funds that we raise go towards ending polio. And as mentioned earlier, a bingo night fundraiser with polio and Rotary related questions, which is very interesting and very educational as well to people who are there. In addition to hosting events, you can also look to have your event a World Greatest Meal event. Information on World's Greatest Meal can be found on WGmeal.com, which you see in the bottom right-hand corner. But in these events, you should invite local media officials and leaders to introduce them to Rotary. You can dedicate a club meeting to World Polio Day and update your website with the event details. Also, create a fundraising or community event where every dollar raised is matched 2-to-1 by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, as you know. Another option is to host a viewing party, and that option can be found on Facebook. So mark your calendar and tune in to Rotary International's World Polio Day online global update. It's streamed on Facebook in multiple time zones and languages around the world. So that's found at Rotary's Facebook page. You can RSVP to that event so you get notified when the stream goes live. Be sure to share this Facebook event with your network, #EndPolio. You can do this from your club Facebook. And this year's program will highlight the heroes of polio eradication with stories from polio endemic and recently impacted areas. In your club meeting also, or in your host viewing party, you can have this live stream visible on TV as well.
Oh, yeah. Promote your event. So as we talk about our events, this is an example of an event that I found that was pretty interesting. Actually, I'm going to be attending this one. And I just wanted to kind of, from a tactical perspective, throw up an example of this is an Instagram post. And as you promote your events, you know, there's with Instagram or Facebook and all of the social channels now, a lot of times I will follow hashtags like #InPolio or Service Above Self, and you get some great examples of what people are doing to promote this. This is one, though, that I'm going to be attending. Our Town Center Rotaract is putting this on, and it's going to be at Whiskey Jack's here in Jacksonville. And it's kind of small when you look at it on the screen. So, William, if you could click down to the next slide, and we're going to dig in a little bit deeper. This is the post split in half. So, of course, they have a lot of the information that explains what is happening right there in the graphic, and it's an emotional graphic because it shows someone getting those 2 drops and kind of pulls you in. And you see the #InPolio, and then you see that there's an event happening later this month. But the other parts that I thought that they did a really good job with this post was using emojis. People see emojis in a caption, and it kind of pulls their attention. So they included, a lot of times we forget this information, but it's very important. Where is your event? When is your event? What is going to happen at your event? How much is it going to cost? So I thought this was a pretty good example of how we can promote our events and make sure that we capture all the information relevant to that event within that post. At the bottom, they also use some hashtags. Always important to use the hashtags to kind of expand the reach of your post. The one maybe constructive criticism or constructive information I would provide this group would be, these are very Rotary focused hashtags that they use. These are essentially us talking to ourselves in an echo chamber. We all know Rotaract and Rotary and Service Above Self, but if you really want to expand the reach of your event and let people outside of Rotary know that we're doing something fantastic around World Polio Day, you may do something, other hashtags like fundraiser or service or disease prevention, or you can do some research, but find some more global hashtags that might expand the reach beyond the folks in Rotary that probably know that we're going to have the Polio Day event. So a little interlude there with a couple of tactical ideas around how to promote your event.
Fantastic. And I also like the fact that they encourage people to direct message them with any questions. So there's some level of engagement as well and a dialogue.
Yep, the call to action. Always include that call to action.
So aside from, this could actually be a part of promoting your event. Another way to promote World Polio Day is to write. So of course you can email or call local reporters and pitch a story about World Polio Day and your club's contributions to the effort. Of course, you can write a letter to the editor of your local newspaper. And again, some of those tools that you saw earlier in that link that we've provided will be very helpful for you to do that. Lastly, that new feature that I've seen is about writing your local government and asking officials to support polio eradication as well. And as we saw earlier, it's very important for you to share in this day and age without social media. Share on your Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages, any social media posts. And we have, again, examples of what those posts should be like using EndPolio Now hashtags and other hashtags as well. try to broaden it, as mentioned by Marshall earlier. We also encourage you to follow the End Polio Now on Facebook and Twitter. And use the graphics that we provide in that pack to update your avatar, your Facebook cover photo, and even update your website as well with anything to do with ending polio. And where do you get good examples of assets to do that? Use the Brand Center on Rotary.org. There are People of Action and Polio Now social media posts that you can utilize as well from there. So in summary, those are the areas that you can use to promote your event, to encourage events to be done in partnership in your area. But don't forget, if you are going to be holding anything, and even if you've already planned your event and you're not sure, please double check and make sure that you register your event with World Polio Day on endpol.io/register. Also, if you'll be serving a meal or even a happy hour like we saw earlier, register that with World's Greatest Meal so that we can also track on their impact. So don't forget to do those two things. And here's a actual video recap that was done by our very own RPIC, Sheila Bethel. Thank you, Sheila. I think that's a fantastic recap of some of the things that we can do and gives us some ideas. I like the idea of sailing to end polio. Now remember, this event will help you to achieve the Zone 34 public image citation. We know you're already doing some great things to promote your club, but this citation is available to you to recognize clubs that are doing a fantastic job. And what that does, it recognizes your club publicly in your district and will encourage other clubs to follow suit as well. So the list of activities can be used as a guideline for best practices for your public image. So you can see circled here are two important things. One, your public image plan needs to be submitted before September 30th, 2019, which is in about 5 days' time. And also, this, if you were to hold an event for World Polio Day, it would actually satisfy that other one that's circled, which is hold at least one fellowship, networking, or collaborative event that is open to the public and partners with at least one other club. Use the opportunity to introduce non-Rotarians to Rotary and post the event in Rotary Club Central and Rotary Showcase. Some important dates. As we mentioned, September 30th, your public image plan is due. World Polio Day, which is what we've been talking about on today's webinar. Rotary's 115th anniversary in 2020. And if you need any more information on the various observances, myrotary.org Member Center can be found there in the calendar. These are some of the monthly observances. And of course, other resources, as mentioned earlier, we have our zone public image team and your district leadership, the brand center, people of action campaign. There are loads of stock images available to you there. If you don't have good photos of various events and things from your local club, you can go to those stock images and download those and utilize them. Templates for those same letters, logos. And if you're not sure, if you don't know who your district leadership is, your district public image chair, you can just let us know and we'll contact and direct you to that person. And of course, always feel free to come to our website, myrotarystory.org, for downloadable copies of these presentations, as well as the webinars that we record. And that's the website there, myrotarystory.org. And all you need to do is, in the top right-hand corner, click on my presentations, as well as links. Now, at this point, are there any other questions that we've had based on this presentation? Is there any comments, any suggestions of what we can do in future to support you in our zone?
Hey, William, I was thinking one of those you mentioned was a write campaign, writing to your local officials or to world officials about World Polio Day. I know there's a club down in, I think it's Rotary 6990, that they'll actually, and I think a lot of other clubs do this too, as a part of a club meeting, do kind of a mini service project within a meeting. And I know a week ago or 2 weeks ago, they did a letter writing campaign, writing thank you notes to veterans of World War II, which I thought was really nice. And so that made me think about your comment, writing to our global officials, perhaps at a meeting on World Polio Day, if you don't have anything else planned for your meeting or that week, hand out notes and envelopes to all the members in the club and ask them to write a note to one of their officials, or provide some names and addresses, and do it right then at the beginning of the meeting. So certainly something that we could do. Another one, and I know all of us have Interact clubs and maybe even early act clubs with the younger Rotarians. Encourage them to do the Purple Pinky campaigns. And I know my daughter last year, as president of her Interact club, they did the Purple Pinky, where people donated $1 and they painted their pinky purple. They got an In Polio Now sticker, and they learned about the program. And then I know a local club matched the funds that they raised and donated that to the In Polio Now campaign. So lots of really grassroots, easy things to do for World Polio Day. So yeah, lots of great stuff. I know Liz said that they have shown the documentary produced by District 7620 called Dare to Dream, how Rotary became the heart and soul of polio eradication. She said it's amazing and every Rotarian needs to see it. If anyone wants to chime in, any other folks on the call, unmute yourself. What are some other things that you all are doing for World Polio Day? I'd love to hear some of the ideas and some of the projects that everyone has on tap.
Marshall, it's Sheila.
Yeah.
I just wanted to remind everyone that what's also a good idea is to actually put something together that explains what polio is. In some countries and some areas, it's such a long time since there was any polio in their area that they really don't understand the severity of it. So always, when you send out the information, try to put something in there about what this disease is and what it does to people. Okay.
That downloadable pack also provides you with that information, that critical, up-to-date information on our fight to end polio. It includes some of the information that I actually read to you at the beginning of the presentation.
Yep.
Yeah, and good. You know, everyone's got smartphones, and I know a lot of folks, some of our generation still have relevant Rotary stories. We still have personal connections. My father had polio. I have a polio story about, you know, my dad and what it meant to have him as part of my Rotary experience. Get your cameras and record people telling what Rotary means to them, how it's impacted their life. A quick 15 to 20 second video associated with one of these social media posts really can provide some context for people immediately and let them know this is still something very serious that we can achieve and would have a global impact, and it's within reach. So definitely use your video capabilities to let people know how important this day is.
Sue, did you have something to add?
I just had a question. That beautiful short video. Did you say Sheila made that?
Yes, we can give you a copy of that to share on social media if you like.
Yeah, I would love to get a copy of that. That's really, really well done. Thank you.
Sheila, is it possible to have that in a downloadable format on the website? I'm pretty sure we should be able to get that on it as
Yeah, that's not a problem. I'll put it up there by the morning. It is actually on Facebook. It's on the Zone 3334 Facebook page. If you can find it on there, but I'll put it on the website anyway.
Very
and
good.
I'm glad you liked it.
Awesome. So let's see, who else has something going on for World Polio Day? Any other ideas or suggestions or things that you guys have seen?
LePage, what is Rotary Club of New Providence doing? LePage.
Yeah, she's still here. Let's see.
I'll unmute
her. There she goes. Hey, LePage? Nope. Okay.
I guess she can't hear us.
Oh, she said the audio is cutting in and out.
Oh, okay. I did want to just mention that there, if you look at the bottom of your screens, there's a little icon there that says polling. If you guys could click on that and just answer the question there, just so that we can get some information feedback.
So that's what Mara says.
Yeah, 3 of 8, so 37% of people have voted.
Speaking of chapel houses in O'Brien versus Smith.
Steve, we don't anticipate you voting because I know you're driving.
George's J.A., Justice of Appeal.
Speaking of chapel.
All right. We've it looks like we have 43% of you have yes. You have already planned your World Polio Day event. 29% of you are possible, and 29% of you say no. So thank you very much.
William? Of the people that have said no or possibly, has what we've been talking about this evening helped you to decide to do something? What the idea of having these webinars is to encourage you to actually take action and become people of action and clubs of action. So hopefully what we've told you might get some ideas going in your head. So anybody going to work on what we've been telling you?
Liz?
Well, we actually have two things planned so far, but we're still working on our big event. But next week we're having our Bring a Friend to Rotary meeting, which was postponed because of Dorian passing through here before he got Bahamas. And one thing we're doing, I don't know if you've seen the Rotary T-shirt challenge, and it was started by Evan Burrell. And the idea is you put on all of your Rotary shirts and you take them off as quickly as you can. So districtors have been doing this, and then they commit a certain amount of money to Polio Plus. So next week at our Bring a Friend to Rotary meeting, we actually have 3 Rotarians who are going to be doing that. How many shirts you can take off in like 2 minutes. But the rest of the club is going to be betting on these teams. And all the money we raise through the bets is going to Polio Plus.
That's very good.
Yeah, we're going to be showing the documentary again, which is amazing. It will make you cry. It will make you so happy. I mean, it is an amazing documentary. It's only 40 minutes long, and I cannot recommend it enough for Rotarians. It will change your whole perspective about eradicating polio, because it really was a difficult battle for Rotary to be able to take on the challenge.
Liz, what is the name of that documentary, and where can one find that?
If you just Google Dare to Dream, how Rotary became the heart and soul of polio eradication, the website comes up. You can download it for free. You can make a donation, for it. They put a goal of raising $50,000, and I know they raised more than that. But it is an amazing, amazing documentary.
That's awesome. I know there's one other documentary called Every Last Child, the struggle to end polio. So there's a couple of really good polio documentaries out there. So yeah, and I've heard great things about the 7620 produced version too. So yeah, that's a great way to let folks know just how terrible this disease is, and what a great thing it is that Rotary is doing.
And it's only 40 minutes, so you can show it during a meeting, and bring some guests to the meeting too. So
fantastic. All right, well, no more questions. And William, thanks again for the great information and putting that together. As William mentioned, we'll have the slide deck and the recording up on the Rotary Zone 34 website in the next few days. Sheila is very good about getting that up, although she's had some challenges recently, as she's been a huge part of the support for the Bahamas recovery. So thank you, Sheila, for all the efforts that you've done as you guys recover from Hurricane Dorian. I know that's kept you very busy. But for everyone else, thank you all for being here tonight. I encourage you all to think of these ideas for World Polio Day, and if you haven't already have an event planned, go ahead and plan one, even if it's a small project like writing letters. And be sure the other critical date that William mentioned is in 5 days. We do need to get those public image plans in place so that you can be eligible for the citation for this year. So please make sure you get those to us. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We can certainly help you or your district governor get those forms in place. But until the next webinar, thanks everyone for participating, and look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care.
Thank you all.
good night.